Welcome to another problem-solving question that I've got for you here. This one I'm going to call it "Which side are you on?" And it's basically, here's the question. It's an awkward-looking question when you first read it. So there are two teams getting ready for a sports competition. One team has more than the other. So someone in Team A notices that if they give a player to Team B, both sides will be equal. However, if one player moves from B to A will have twice as many players as Team B. So how many players does each team currently have? I'll let you pause for a bit, have a think about how you might do it. And then we'll try and go through it. Okay. So if you've had a go, that's great. If you're not sure where to start, you want to have another go, I'm going to suggest you try simultaneous equations. So you could have another pause if you hadn't worked out it with simultaneous equations, and then have a go from there. And then we'll start. Okay, so the two teams, like I said, it's simultaneous equations. So the first thing you got to think of is we've got A and B. We're going to call so the two unknowns are going to be A and B. That's the size of the two teams. So if we started with, let's have a look. We've got Team A. If they give a player to Team 1, so now we have A minus 1, that will then be equal to B plus 1. So that's one equation there. So we could have A minus B equals 2, because the minus 1 is going to come over here and become added onto there. So we're going to add 1 onto this. B, to get rid of the B from there, we're going to take it away. So we've got A minus B equals 2. Our second equation, if we have a look at that, that's a little bit more complicated. So this time, again, we've got A plus 1 because they're going to be gaining a player, and that's going to equal 2 times B minus 1 because they're losing the player. So, and A is going to be worth 2 of Team B at the end of that. So if we multiply that out, we've got A plus 1 on this side equals 2B minus 2. So we subtract the 2B over here, so we get A minus 2B. And we take away the 1 from here, so we're going to end up with a minus 3. So that's now our two simultaneous equations. So if I just write them down here, A minus B equals 2, and underneath we've got A minus 2B equals minus 3. Now, if I subtract the bottom equation from the top equation, that's the best way of doing this. A take away A is nothing. We've got minus B, negative B. We're going to subtract negative 2B. If we subtract negative 2B, we're adding 2B. So minus B plus 2B will give us B equals, we've got 2. Take away negative 3. So that's 2 add 3, which is 5. So B is equal to 5. If I substitute that into the first equation, that's the easiest one. A minus 5 equals 2. So A is going to equal, add the 5, 7. So there we were. We start with A equals A equals 7 and B equals 5. And you can see straight away, if you take one away from A, that would be 6, and add one to B, it would be 6. So that would make them both the same. If we took one from B and added it onto A, we would end up with 8 and 4. And 8 is twice as much as 4. So there we go. Now that's how we do that. What I like about this question though is we could actually adapt this. So I've got another idea here. So this time I'm changing the question, and this time Team A is going to give 2 players to Team B to make them both equal, and B would have to give 2 players to Team A, and A will have twice as many as Team B. So it's the same sort of thing. You know, one's going to be the same. One way it's A is going to be twice as big as B, but it's only given 2 players. So you can have a go and pause it if you want, and what I'll do is I will start it now. So this time we're going to have A minus 2, and that'll equal B plus 2. Again, we can subtract the B over here, add a negative 2 onto it, add 2 to get rid of the negative 2 on there, and we're going to get A minus B equals 4. Our second equation though is we've got to have A plus 2, because they're in it, and equals, it's going to be twice B minus 2. So multiply out the brackets, A plus 2 equals 2B minus 4. We're going to subtract the 2B, so I'll bring that over here. So I'll have A minus 2B over here equals, and I've got to subtract this 2, so minus 4 minus 2 is going to give me minus 6. So these are our 2 equations. A minus B equals 4. A minus 2B equals minus 6. Same as before, I'm going to subtract the bottom equation away. So A take away A is nothing. Minus B, subtract minus 2B, subtracting a negative, so we're adding, so that will give me plus B equals 4, subtract negative 6, and we're taking away a negative, we've got to add the 6, so B is going to equal 10. And again, we can substitute that into the first equation. A minus 10 equals 4, so A is going to equal 14. And that's great. So we can see at the start, Team A, Team B. So at the start, A had 14 people, Team B had 10. A gives 2 to B, they'll have 12 and 12. If B gives 2 to A, they would have 16, and B would have 8. And you can see 16 is twice 8. Now this can go on and on and on. We can do loads more. So I've got another one here. And this time I've got a little bit more things. So the 2 teams. So they're going to give 2 players. So again, but this time A is going to end up 3 times as many to players as B. So this one, we just got to do same sort of thing again. It's the same starting equation as the last one. A minus 2 is going to equal B plus 2. So again, we've got A minus B equals 4. But on the other side, we're going to have A plus 2, and that's going to equal 3 times, because I'm going to change it to 3 times, we're going to have 3 times b minus 2. So if we rearrange that, or we'll multiply the brackets out first, so a plus 2 still here equals 3b minus 6. So you're going to have a subtract 3b equals, we can take away the 2, so we'll have that as minus 8. If I bring these over here, we'll have these as our 2 equations. So we've got a minus b equals 4, and underneath we're going to have a minus 3b equals minus 8. Again, I'm going to subtract. So a take away a is nothing. Minus b subtract negative 3b. So we're going to have to subtract the negative, so we're adding, so we'll end up with 2b equals 4, subtract negative 8, so we're taking away negative, so we're adding it, so that we 2b equals 12. So in this case, b equals 6. Again, we can put it into our first equation. A minus 6 equals 4, so a is going to equal 10. So again, we can just check it all out. A and b, they start with, a starts with 10, b starts with 6. If a gets A gets 2 players, they will have 12. B loses 2 players, it will go to 4. 12 is 3 times 4, so 3 times as big. If A was to lose 2 players, it would go to 8. B was to gain 2 players, it would go to 8. And that's it done. So, and you could go on and on forever with this. You could work out loads of different variations, and I would suggest having a go at a few others yourself and make them up.